All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Back as usual with my man Nades. Talking another big slate, Nades. 15 yesterday was a monster. Another big one today. 13 games. It's kind of literally just like yesterday's how I see it. Pitching, I think there's a lot of options. Some in the top range, some in the bottom range. Ownership, I think, pretty spread out. And then you get to bats. Coors Field, the Dodgers. Yesterday, nut spot, 7.5 total. Team total. When do you ever see that? Yeah, Seabold pitches well. The Rockies bullpen does the job. You wanted JD Martinez, but outside of him, no Dodgers was the way to go. And yeah, the Dodgers are in a great spot again against Kyle Freeland in the chalk of the slate. But 13 games, 26 teams, plenty of ways to go. Excited to talk some ball with you, Nate. Hope everybody out there having a great Wednesday so far. Nate, how's your Wednesday going, man?
Yeah, Wednesday's going great. It was a very good night for me last night. I played three teams last night. I did include a Dodgers team in there. I had to eat the chalk and be a donkey on that. Obviously, that team did have JD Martinez, but did not get the job done. The team that did get the job done, though, is my freaking Texas stack. I'll tell you that right now. And my boy Blackburn. I called 25 DraftKings points. He scored 22. Sorry for leaving you guys out hanging there. Left three points on the table. And Mr. Frickin' Showtime. Is he the best player in the freaking world or what? I mean, double dunk, Oppo Taco, like out there throwing 10 Ks. He gets yanked in the seventh inning or the sixth inning because he had a freaking hurt fingernail and then comes up and just launches one to outer space. That was a little hurtful because he was absolutely cruising. He was only at 100 pitches, 101 pitches, something like that. I was hoping for a couple more points there, but he mowed. We had a good night overall over here at SHIPITNation.com. The calls were on point, Title. My Blackburn call, your Suarez call, you paired those two together. You were pretty damn happy at their salaries. And if you played the Texas bats, like I said, you probably had a pretty solid night. So looking to do the same thing here tonight and give the people the winners.
Absolutely. Nate's been on fire over here at Shippin' Nation. You get his core plays on the site. He's in the Discord, always talking to the members. Get Hoop Slate Plan, his core plays up on the site. Hamwich, G. Risen as well, who absolutely been on fire. We've been talking about it. Favorite pitchers, his favorite stacks. G. Risen got his pitchers, stacks, favorite one-offs up on the site as well. You play cash games. I give a cash core on FanDuel, on DraftKings. Then, of course, Boomers projections, absolutely been money, stack rankings, hitter rankings, pitcher rankings as well. All up at SHIPITNation.com. No better time to join. $59 a month, $599 a year. Got the Rocket Mortgage, got PGA tomorrow. Big prize pools as always. Hoop will be out there. MMA this week as well. Excited to talk some fights on Friday with my man Marley. Just a very exciting time over here at SHIPITNation.com. We'd love to have you. And if you do join SHIPITNation.com, make sure you get in the Discord as well. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Like button, big black subscribe button helps us out a ton. Nate, I say we dive right in. Yesterday, we spent an hour, 10 minutes talking baseball. We'll spend whatever time we need to get by pitcher, game by game as always. But 13 games, a bunch to talk about. We'll dive right into it. DraftKings pricing as usual. I'm going to do what I did yesterday. I'm going to say 9K and above because, man, there's a lot of options up top. Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Cody Sangai, Logan Webb, some of the few. Zach Eflin, the most expensive pitcher on the slate. I'm just crossing him off. I'm pretending he's not even on there. But, yeah, weird to see him up there with these names on the slate. Javier down there, 9.7K, though. Mitch Keller, Braxton Garrett's a little below 9K. So not touching on him yet. But Mitch Keller has been a stud this year. Lucas Giolito coming off a good performance. It's like 9 guys, 9K and above today, Nades. The Dodgers are on the slate. Some other good teams, kind of expensive. They're cheap bats, of course, but paying up at pitching, I don't think many people will double spend for sure. And some people will just skip this whole range and just go some cheaper options to pay for bats. So talk about this top range, where you're seeing ownership, some of your favorites, 9K and above.
Yeah, we're going to start with Blake Snell because that's kind of the talking point. Everyone wants to play Blake Snell at the top based on his last 4 starts. I get it, right? He's been great. But I follow the little T-chart title. I talk about it every time. You got chalk Blake Snell on a 13-game slate. The little T-charts that you see in school, right? If this, then that kind of thing. He is getting ownership. I like the other guy in that same game on the other side, Mitch Keller. I will just much rather save a little bit, go right to Mitch Keller in the exact same game environment. It's okay weather there in Pittsburgh, it does look like, but it is more of a pitcher's park. And I get it, right? Mitch Keller has dropped off a little bit, but he ranks very well over here. And I trust our proprietary metrics over here. The San Diego team overall, I get it, right? The lineup on paper looks pretty scary with Tatis, Manny's back in there. All these guys, but they do strike out at nearly a 26% clip on the road against right-handed pitching. Keller, right around 28% strikeout rate, expected ERA under 3.5, like 3.2 roughly. So I'm going to go to Mitch Keller. He's my number one in this range. I like another guy right above him, Mr. Senga himself against the Brewers there. I get it, right? Senga can be wild, but he does have slate-breaking upside here, 30 points, 35 points. We've seen it before. He also ranks very well on our metrics over here. Got the 5th best K matchup on the slate with the Brewers. Obviously, they strike out a lot. Not a ton of scary bats right now, especially with that Brewers team overall. I mean, Joey Weimer's the highlight bat right now, and the dude hits in the 9-hole. So not scared of that. I like Senga quite a bit. He is risky at 10-1, but I mean, there's not going to be ownership. I'm seeing lower ownership on him than Snell, probably than Nola, probably than these other guys. I like him quite a bit. If I had to choose one of Nola or Snell, I do definitely prefer Nola here in the win game in Wrigley. The weather too with the haze, it's been brutal here in the Midwest in Wisconsin. You walk outside, it looks like it's a freaking fog storm out there. So I like Nola to Snell overall, but hitting on the rest of this range here, Javier is an easy X. I actually like St. Louis bats. We're going to talk on that. I mean, Javier's strikeout rate against lefties has dropped to 16.7%. And St. Louis rolled out quite a bit of lefties here. Still have Arenado, still have Goldschmidt in that lineup that can hit some power there. And Javier is a fly ball guy. So I do like St. Louis there. Out on him. Giolito's interesting because Mike Trout and Ohtani is red hot right now, have both owned Giolito in their career. But Giolito, if you look at his game logs, man, he's posting good starts. Seeing right around 10 to 15% ownership on him. I think he's a viable option. I just like a lot of bats in this game on this slate that are expensive. So if you want to pivot, if you want a guy in that range, I would actually prefer Braxton Garrett a little bit right below him. I get it. He is in Fenway. It is a good park, but
you can touch on him. We'll go A5 and above if you want to touch on Garrett. Since
because Garrett's right there, and then it drops to 8K. Yeah. So Braxton Garrett, I do like quite a bit. He's been arguably the best pitcher on the slate by far right now as of late. The only issue is Boston just doesn't strike out a ton, right? It is good hitting weather in Fenway, but if you're talking upside, I mean, 8,700 for his metrics. He's got better metrics as of late in his recent starts than anyone else on this slate, and he's just $8,700. So I do actually like Braxton Garrett a decent amount at $8,700. I'm seeing sub 10% ownership on him. If you want a low-owned guy, I think Braxton Garrett is it. And the Red Sox haven't been great overall. I played Devers last night. I played Duvall. I mean, they just didn't do anything. It was hurtful. Got smoked 10-1 in Fenway there. So ranking this range, I would go Mitch Keller number 1. I'll go Braxton Garrett number 2, and then Senga number 3 for me. And if I had a 4th, it'd be Aaron Nola.
Yeah, I like it. This top range, a lot of options. Again, I don't think some people won't even play any of these guys, and they'll start their lineup with 8K and below, pay up for bats. There's multiple guys below 8K that I think are viable. So I don't love the double spend up at pitcher route. I think today, just like yesterday's, options up top, options in the mid-range, options down low. I'd start with your favorite stack. If you like the Dodgers today, if you like the Rockies, whoever it may be, 5-man them or get your favorite bats, your favorite stack that way. And with your secondary stack and pitching, see how much salary you have left and go about it that way. Because, yeah, like nothing really stands out too much up here. kind of like a jumble mess. I'm not playing Eflin as the highest price pitcher against Arizona. He's easy cross off. I'm not playing Logan Webb against this Toronto lineup. They have struggled as of late, but 10.6K. Again, I don't think either of those guys are crazy, but I definitely prefer Aaron Nola. He's my favorite in the top range. Picking on these Cubs again. Ranger Suarez worked yesterday. Nola feels by far the safest on the slate, which safety means a little bit. I think on a slate like this, like Blake Snell's projecting as the highest price pitch or the highest projected pitcher on the slate. I mean, you know, Blake Snell projections hardly mean anything when it comes to him because he can get you 2 DK points. He can get you 32 DK points. I don't know if he's going to be the highest owned in this range. Like, give me Aaron Nola for a little less ownership. I think they'll be pretty similar, though. I just feel way better with Nola and his safety, whereas Snell, this Pirates team, they got a couple guys that can be pesky in there. So I don't know, 7.5K prop. I think he's the highest owned in the top range. I'll take the ownership discount and a little safety for Nola, like you said. Anytime Snell's chalk, it's usually a good time to fade. Senga right there, you liked him. I like picking on the Brewers. He has the K stuff. Definitely get it, but man, he has not looked as good as of late. The walks are definitely a concern. Pitch count can get up there. The Brewers, I love targeting them. Senga falls down the list a little bit for me, though. He just really hasn't been great. Mitch Keller, I'm with you on him, though. You get by Tatis, Machado, Soto at the top. This lineup is not very scary. I think Mitch Keller is going to be low owned, too. So, yeah, sign me up for Mitch Keller. Solid K prop. Javier, I don't like his upside as much. Lucas Giolito, I don't know. Do I really want to be playing against Ohtani? Trout right now, Ohtani's absolutely on one. I think he's fine, but I prefer saving some salary. Braxton Garrett, yeah, he'll be low owned. I get it. I just, picking on this Boston team or this Boston lineup, not something I love to do in Fenway, decent hitting weather. There's other guys I think I like cheap more. So, yeah, Aaron Nola, definitely my favorite up here. Mitch Keller right there would be 2. Blake Snell would be 3 is how I rank it. Like I said, though, I don't think you need to play any pitchers above 8K, though, because there's bats to spend on this slate. So that's the upper tier. We'll go below. But I forgot to say some hi to people in the YouTube chat. So before we go to Nades to break down the bottom range, got to say hi to people. Tolga is in here. Alex, Saran, Corin. I'm definitely mispronounced your last name. Alex, though. What's going on, Alex? Jordan, Hamwich in here. Richie Smalls, William, DFS, Mike Carr in here. Kid Lyman, Gator Nation, Bump, Maul, Eric Johnson, Warren Tyler in here, Sean Dre, Jetty. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. Andrew Martinez, Colin, Whaler, Chunky Blue, Boss Bra, Roddy. A lot of people hanging out. K. Philippe Burner, Big Money. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out, like I always say, but we really do. You guys are what makes this show fun. All we ask from you is the like button, big black subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Joe in here, Kevlar in the Discord as always. What's going on, Joe? And again, if you're not a member, you want to get in the Discord, you want projections, tools, Nade's core plays, Hoops core plays, slate plan, all of that good stuff. PGA, MMA, you do need to be a member at SHIPITNation.com. $59 a month, $599 a year. Won't find a better deal in the industry. We'll keep it rolling though, Nades. We'll go just below 8K because a lot of these guys you definitely can cross off. But man, so I'll just start bottom to top talking ownership. Dane Dunning at 6.1K will be if one of the chalkiest, if not the chalkiest guy on the slate. And like you said, you're shaking your head. Totally makes sense. Why he will be the chalkiest or one of the chalky on the slate is he's free. He gets the Tigers team, who definitely has not been the same Tigers team we've thought in the past, but it opens up playing all the Dodgers bats. He's a free SP to play any bats you want. People want to play the Dodgers today. So he's going to be chalk in tournaments. Dane Dunning, chalk, 13-game slate. So many other ways to go. Don't think it's a great GPP play. Going up a little, I think JP Sears might get some ownership. Domingo Herman will be one of the chalkiest guys at 8K. Logan Allen also there at 8K as well. Kyle Gibson, Drew Smiley, a couple other names. Nades, 8K and below. What you got? I think it's going to be a pretty popular route. Like I said, people are going to spend down at pitching at least one spot, I think, today. So what do you got?
Yeah, one point I just want to make quick on Senga. He has been way better at home outside of his start against Toronto, where he walked 5 guys. But outside of that, I mean, if you look at his game logs, he's given up 4 runs, 3 runs, 1 run, had 12 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, and 8 strikeouts, and now gets a Brewers team that does strike out at a 26% clip. Expected ISO under 150. So that's the reason for Senga. It is a little bit of a hitter's ump in New York, but man, this Brewers team as a total, just a 9% walk rate as a team. Does have some pretty high strikeout guys in there. Blake Perkins probably going to make a lineup, things like that. So that's the reasoning on Senga. He has been much better at home. And he's going to be pretty low owned compared to some of those other guys up there. This range
I will just mention quick too. You said he has the hitters up behind the disc. There's only 3 games with the pitchers ump. Again, I like looking at that a lot though. But the games with the pitchers ump, Coors Field, really don't love pitchers in Coors Field today. Braxton Garrett does get one against Boston. I don't love picking on Boston, but if you want to give Garrett a bump there, then it's the Angels, or not the Angels. It's the Astros and the Cardinals. Christian Javier Mikolas on the mound. I really don't like Javier anyway. So Braxton Garrett's the one guy you talk about with the pitcher's ump. But like you were saying, with Senga having a hitter's ump, most guys on this slate, either neutral or hitters ump behind the dish. So umpires that didn't really sway me either way today. And I definitely looked at it. I was trying to find an edge that way, but wanted to bring that up. AK and Below talk about it.
Yeah, I'll start with Domingo Germán. His last 2 starts after he got caught with the sticky stuff and all that stuff going on have been absolutely horrendous. So somehow if he comes back out here tonight and somehow finds a way to cheat and not get caught against these A's, does he have the upside? Yeah, absolutely at 8K. But a 27, 28, 30% owned Domingo Germán, who have looked the way he has as of late. I don't know if I'm on board with Germán there. I mean, the dude's given up 15 runs in 5 innings in his last 2 starts. And these A's do have some cheap guys that can get to him. I mean, they have been pesky as of late. Not as of recent, but they still have destroyed chalk pitchers this season. It's kind of their specialty. So I don't have a ton of interest in Germán. Logan Allen, I mean, it's like 9,000 degrees in Kansas City. Logan Allen's stuff has come down to earth overall. He does have a pretty healthy projection at 8K. Will be sub 5% right at the same price. So in tournaments, if you want to make the pivot right there from Germán right to Logan Allen, I guess you could. But I don't love it because the weather in Kansas City is very good. Kansas City, just a 21% strikeout rate so far at home against left-handed pitching. And Logan Allen has definitely come back down to earth a little bit. Kyle Gibson's interesting to me. Seeing 5-6% ownership. I do like Baltimore bats quite a bit here tonight against Mr. Weaver, much like a lot of people will. Pretty healthy implied run total for them. So Gibson should have the run support behind him. It is a little bit scary picking on these young kids in Cincinnati, but there is some strikeouts to be had throughout this lineup. Only issue is Kyle Gibson just doesn't have a ton of strikeout rate, just 18% on the season. So 7,900, don't love that. Drew Smyly is interesting in that Wrigley game. He ranks pretty good on our stuff over here. I get it, right? Philly hit bombs last night. Brandon Marsh, definitely mentioned him. He hit the double dong. And Drew Smyly ranks very, very good on our tools over here. Second best K matchup on the entire slate. Obviously a lefty against a bunch of lefties in that lineup for the Phillies. So I do have a decent amount of interest in Drew Smyly. He's actually been pretty solid throughout the course of the year. Overall, has the wind blown in too in Wrigley. So at just 7-8% ownership, I do like Drew Smyly quite a bit at 7,400. Mikolas, I hate Mikolas, but man, this Houston team has been bad. The lineup's bad. I don't know if I can pull the trigger on him because I do like Mr. JP Sears right there. I'm a believer in JP Sears. Sears is going to get ownership. He's not going to be 3% like Mr. Blackburn was last night, but these Yankees just look brutal, especially against lefties. 28% strikeout rate on the road against left-handed pitching. And I've been a believer in JP Sears all year. Strikeout rate, 24%. He does get hit a little bit, but I mean, I'm just going to bank on the strikeouts, the pitcher's park as well. And it worked well for me last night. So I'm going to go right back, I think, to JP Sears. I like him quite a bit at 7,100. Are we going all the way down, Title?
Yep, all the way down.
Okay. Jamie Barria is interesting. I get it, right? Everyone's worried about his leash. But the same matchup in Chicago, he just threw for 22 DraftKings points against Chicago, went five innings. If I can get 5 innings out of Barria at 6,800, and I've just seen what Ohtani did and what Detmers did, obviously 2 better pitchers, right? But this White Sox team looks lost at the plate right now. So I actually like him a little bit at 6,800. Pretty decent projection, actually right around 12, 13 projection at 6,800. I'm seeing sub 5% ownership on it. And he just got the same matchup about 3 starts ago and posted 22 DraftKings points. So if I can get 15, 16 points out of this guy and my bats win the slate, kind of like last night's title, I'm definitely going to take it. Dane Dunning is interesting because, man, he should have run support. I love Texas again here tonight. But, man, 25, 30% ownership on Dane Dunning. I don't know if I can pull the trigger. That's why I kind of like going up a little bit to Sears, to Beria a little bit, Drew Smiley, those guys, then go all the way down. I guess if you did need the salary, Dane Dunning is fine. But, man, just a 14% K rate on the season for Mr. Dane Dunning. And these Tigers do have some guys. I get it, right? It's the Tigers. But 14% K rate doesn't just automatically throw a bad team, right? That they're going to go out there and swing and miss a ton when you don't have a ton of swing and miss potential. So him as the chalkiest guy on the slate, probably, I'm just going to cross off and kind of live in that low 7K, high 6K range. Personally, is where I'm at for this slate.
Yeah, great breakdown. I'll give my quick thoughts on 8K Bull. Touch on a couple of guys. I didn't misspeak, though. There's one other game. I said 3 games with the pitchers ump. There's actually 4, KC and Cleveland. Logan Allen also gets a pitcher's ump behind the dish. But I guess we'll talk right there, 8K. Domingo Germán, I would make a rule, max 1, Domingo Germán and Dane Dunning. I think it'll be a pretty popular pairing. It's just because of the nature, or it's because of the pricing. And then with the Dodgers bats, assuming you want to go that way, I just think it'll be way over-owned. Like those two being the chalk, like I said, it's literally just pricing. There's better pitchers in the upper tier. It's just people want to spend for bats on this slate, rightfully so. That combo, I think, will be way over-owned. I don't mind Domingo Germán, but for that, I mean, I prefer Germán than I think I do Dane Dunning. Wouldn't play them together. It's not a strong lean, though. I think probably fading both makes sense. Logan Allen right below him. It's almost 100 degrees in KC. I wish it was cooler, so probably no for me. But Kyle Gibson, I'll take a shot on him against these Reds. Decent favorite. 4.5 K prop, some juice on the over. This Reds lineup, the bottom of the order, not the best. So I'm fine with Kyle Gibson. Give me 15 on this slate. I'll move on. And you get off Germán in that range. Drew Smiley grades out well in our pitcher rankings over here. It's not warm in Chicago. One of the best pitching weather on the slate. Wind blowing in a little bit. Solid K prop for him as well. I'm good with Drew Smiley. I like both pitchers in that game. No Mikolas for me. JP Sears, I'm definitely with you, though. He's my favorite in this bottom range. I just think he's the best real-life arm in this bottom range. At least 16 in his last 4 starts. Yankees team has a good amount of strikeouts, get through a couple of the top bats. And, man, this lineup, it's not even really scary anymore with no Judge in it. So definitely love JP Sears is my favorites. Going down, though, I don't know. Wade Miley, the Mets came to life a little bit yesterday. Haven't been hitting well before. Maybe Wade Miley would be you like Berea more than Wade Miley. Close for me. Our rankings like Berea a little more. Those 2 guys would be my pivot off of Dane Dunning, though. The cheapest I would go if you're not playing Dane Dunning, Berea, Wade Miley. Fine with them. Definitely like Sears right more, though, in that range. Kyle Gibson, my favorite pivot off of Germán. But if we're ranking our top 3 pitchers on this slate, yeah, for me, it's gonna go JP Sears 1. It's gonna go Aaron Nola 2, Mitch Keller 3, and then I'd probably just go Gibson 4. So I guess we'll go top 4. But yeah, JP Sears definitely 1, Aaron Nola 2. I'll say Mitch Keller 3, Kyle Gibson 4. When you get to the 3-4 route, it's kind of flipping coins for me, though, on this 13 games slate. Love Sears, though, for sure. Nola, my favorite spend up. What do you got? Finish out pitcher for us. Top 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mitch Keller number 1. I'm going to go Sears number 2. I'm going to go Smiley number 3. And then I'm going to go Senga number 4. So kind of the same thing I did yesterday. Two more expensive guys in Keller and Senga, and then 2 cheaper guys in Smiley and Sears. Play one of each. You can pair the 2 cheap guys, whatever you want to do. But that's where I'm going to roll tonight.
I like it. Hamwich in here as well. He said Snell number 1, giving out Snell. I like Blake Snell, highest K prop on the board. It's going to get ownership, though. There's no doubt about that. But no, Snell and his upside on this slate, definitely like myself. Some Blake Snell. We'll keep it rolling, though. That is pitching on this slate. About 30 minutes talking pitching. Awesome stuff, Nades. Been given a lot of winners in the pitching department. Let's go game by game, though. 13 of them. Yeah, we do appreciate if you hit that like button for us. 240 watching. Let's try and get 150 likes. We do appreciate it. Game by game, Nades. First game of the night, Cincinnati Reds, Baltimore Orioles, Luke Weaver, Kyle Gibson on the mound. I just talked about Kyle Gibson, a little interest. Kind of just the nature of the pitching slate, right in the same range as Herman. So I don't think the Reds by any means are a bad stack. Just got to cross off some spots. The Reds will be one eye cross off. As far as these Orioles, though, man, Luke Weaver is no good. The Orioles, I think they're in another very good spot. Pivot off of the Dodgers, some expensive bats, some cheap bats in that order. But yeah, I like the Orioles, do not like the Reds. What about you?
Yeah, I do. For the BVP, I got to bring it up always. Mr. Jake Fraley. It's one game sample, but he's hit 2 bombs off Gibson. He's 3 for 4 with 2 bombs and a single. So if you want to chase some BVP there in a limited sample, Jake Fraley, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, I'm off the Red side. The Orioles side, I love this spot for the Orioles. And an interesting spot to note here, Ryan O'Hearn hitting the 4-hole. Cincinnati's down to just one lefty out of the pen. So I'm hoping Ryan O'Hearn plays the whole game in the 4-hole at 3,200. He is going to get ownership, but I don't care. I think he hits a bomb off of Weaver here. The Orioles, I mean, Adley Rutschman has been on fire. Gunnar Henderson, Aaron Hicks has been good. Jordan Westberg is finally priced up to 2,900, a little bit more. They did make him second base, I think, on DraftKings, which is very annoying. He's not shortstop eligible anymore. But overall, I mean, Orioles 1 through 9 are in play for me. If I had to rank them, I would go kind of that 2 through 6 is kind of my favorite. But I think any of these guys are in play for me against Mr. Weaver and his sub 20% strikeout rate and barrel rate of right around 12%. So good hitting weather too in Camden. These Orioles are going to get the job done, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. And Ryan O'Hearn, I mean, he is dual multi-position eligibility, but people are going to play Freddie Freeman at first. There is cheap piece in the outfield too. So I wouldn't really be worried about any ownership as much in Baltimore. I like it though. I'm with you. Give me Baltimore, no Reds. But as our guy Kid Lighten said in chat, don't think you can fade Fraley or McLean. Yeah, right now they are pretty tough fades. Gibson's got to get by those two at the top. But I'm not playing Frito. I'm not playing McLean. If you want a mini stack it, they've been hot. Not the craziest thing. They will be low owned. Not for me though. Let's keep it rolling. San Diego Padres, Pittsburgh Pirates, Blake Snell, Mitch Keller on the mound. 75 degrees in Pitt. Still don't have this Pittsburgh lineup. I'm not seeing. I don't know, man. I'm not playing Pittsburgh against Blake Snell, but we've seen Blake Snell give teams, low-owned teams, 1% teams on the winner multiple times just because Blake Snell beats himself more than the other team beats him. So no for me, though. I'm not playing these Pirates on this slate. As far as the Padres, we like Mitch Keller. Padres beat me. They beat me. Pass for me in this one. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at last 30 days number here for the Pirates. Brian Hayes, Henry Davis, Santana's actually been pretty good. McCutcheon would be the guys I would look at. Rodolfo Castro historically has hit lefties pretty well. So if you're looking for guys to target against probably the highest owned pitcher on the slate, you can do that. I'm personally not going to do it just because Blake Snell has been pretty solid as of late. I just don't love him compared to some of these other guys up there. I'm just hoping he comes back down to earth a little bit here, and these Pirates just stay patient at the plate. Just try and work counts on Snell and try and have him beat himself. So out on those, and then I do like Mitch Keller. He's my favorite pitcher on the slate tonight. So out on these Padres.
I like it. Another game. I don't really have too much interest in G Rising in the chat, though. What's up, G Rising? Hope everything's going well. San Francisco Giants, Toronto Blue Jays, Logan Webb, Trevor Richards on the mound. 8.5 total. I don't know. I'm not really playing. I'm not getting to these Blue Jays against Logan Webb. I respect him enough. Just mainly the price point kind of getting me off him. As far as the Giants against Trevor Richards, I don't know. Nades, you going to talk me into any of these Giants? Nothing really stands out. Kind of a fade for me is what I'm seeing at first glance. What about you?
Yeah, it's probably going to be more of a bullpen game overall for the Blue Jays. I can't do it. Pretty easy cross-off spot here. Logan Webb, it was just more the salary. I think in MME, he is a solid pivot up at the top range. I don't like Eflin a ton at his price tag, but, I mean, for $200 more than Nola, $300 more than Snell at a fraction of the ownership, I'm seeing 7%, something in that. I do think Logan Webb in MME, I would definitely include him in the MME set. But, yeah, no bats in this game for me.
Yeah, you would definitely stay in my pool in MME, no doubt. I assume most people watching this show don't MME, but there's a $3 150 max on DK today. So probably a lot more people are MMEing today than usual. Yeah, I would keep Logan Webb in my pool. If you're only playing a couple lineups, harder to get there. But like you said, he literally might be in single entry, 5% owned, 4% owned. How can you complain about that? Webb has been pretty solid. But yeah, no bats in that one for us. We'll keep it rolling. Miami Marlins, Boston Red Sox, Braxton Garrett. And then, bullpen game for the Red Sox. Man, these Marlins got the job done yesterday. I like Boston more than the Marlins, and I was on the wrong side of that game. The Marlins got the job done. Boston did not get the job done. I don't know. Fenway, 75, wind blowing out a little bit. The ball will be flying. I don't know. Marlins 5 total, Boston 4.5. You like Braxton Garrett. I assume you don't love these Red Sox. Do you like any Marlins?
So, not that ownership means a ton on the slate, but I'm seeing these Marlins because game log watchers, right, being the second highest owned stack, even ahead of Baltimore. I love Baltimore about 1,000,000 times more than these Marlins. The Marlins just don't hit a ton of home runs. I get it, it's Fenway, right? But, I mean, outside of De La Cruz and Soler and maybe Jazz Chisholm, I mean, dudes really just don't hit bombs in this lineup. I don't like targeted bullpen games, especially on a 13-game slate. So probably a fade for the Marlins. I just never play these Marlins. They're more of a base hit team, kind of old school baseball manufacturer runs. And I want home runs in my lineups for DraftKings scoring and FanDuel as well. So out on the Marlins, the Red Sox, I do have interest in Braxton Garrett, but it is good hitting weather. These Red Sox are at home. Justin Turner has really good numbers against lefties at home on the season. He's batting in the 2-hole there, 4,300 at first base. Will be low owned with guys like Freddie Freeman, other Ryan O'Hearn for the Orioles. You got other guys at the top people like to spend up. Freddie Freeman was 42% owned yesterday. I'm seeing he's probably going to be 30-40% owned again today, even lefty because everyone wants to play Coors Field. So don't mind Justin Turner, but overall I trust Braxton Garrett on this slate. He has been the best pitcher as of late on this entire slate. So not going to go to these Red Sox. They were hurtful last night. Hopefully it's the same way tonight.
Yeah. Not as much interest. We like the Orioles early, but not as much interest in these first couple. Still 13 game slate, a lot of games to get to. We just saw Dodgers lineup came out, Guardians came out. Lineups are starting to filter in, and all the projections, starting lineups, everything will be updated over here as always by Boomer at SHIPITNation.com. $59 a month, $599 a year. Check out Nate's core plays. Check out the projections, all the proprietary tools. See who hoops on. Cash games, my stuff is up as well. So no better time. Head over. PGA goes off tomorrow morning. MMA this week. NFL will be here before we know it. Best ball content will be rolling out shortly as well. So very exciting times over here at Chip It Nation. Would love to have you. Make sure to get in the Discord if you do join as well. Next game, Milwaukee Brewers, New York Mets, Wade Miley, Kodai Senga on the mound. Senga, he can get wild, no doubt. Is it a Brewers 1% owned stack that's going to win it? If it is, it's a no for me. At least I won't be winning. As far as the Mets against Wade Miley, I don't know, man. I don't really like these Mets either. They did. Nimmo popped off, double dong yesterday. They got some runs on the board, but the bats have been a little quiet as of late. Wade Miley definitely won't overpower you. Still getting the job done in 2023, but can limit the damage. I'll go to other spots on this slate. Another cross-off for me. That's 3 in a row. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a Mets mini stack against Miley. It is still Wade Miley on the mound in 2023. Like you said, he has actually been pretty good in a Brewers uniform. The corpse of Miley. I don't know what's happening in the water in Milwaukee over here, but it's not in my water because you got a Julio Teheran, you got freaking Wade Miley coming in 2023, posting solid scores in terms of pitching and posting decent games on the mound. But the Mets, I mean, Francisco Lindor is red hot right now. 4,400 is a very nice price tag for him at shortstop. So I do like Lindor quite a bit. Pete Alonso, you can play any slate, 5K at first base. Will definitely be lower owned than Freddie Freeman, some of those other guys at the top. Brett Beatty in his 13 at-bats against lefties at home this year in New York has a 396 expected ISO and a strikeout rate under 15%. So I think if you want to mini stack these Mets, you can certainly do that. Obviously, Nimmo just hit the double dong. But lefty, don't love that. But, yeah, I think mini stack for me for the Mets, but I'm not 5-man stacking them. And then no Brewers for me. I do like Senga a decent amount. If you wanted to, I would look at the guys. I'm just pulling up the walk rates as the last 30 days. I would look at Yelich. I mean, Yelich has a 16% walk rate He's pretty patient at the plate. The only other two guys in double digits are two guys at the bottom, Blake Perkins and Weimer. So if you want like a 9-1 stack with Weimer and Yelich, I wouldn't hate that. Probably not going to play Perkins here, but he has shown some power. So 8-9-1 stack if you want to for the Brewers, but it's not for me.
Not for me either. We'll keep it rolling, though. Another game I think will be pretty low owned. I have a little interest, though, in this one. Houston Astros, St. Louis Cardinals, Christian Javier, Miles Mikolas on the mound. 90 degrees in St. Louis, so that jumps out the page right away. You look at Javier, man, he hasn't been too good as of late. -6 last time out, 14-1 before that. Getting hit around, some walks in there. I like some of these Cardinals bats, and I definitely like them because their lineup they rolled out, they have plenty of lefties. Only 2-3 righties, so 6 lefties they got in this order. And Javier, much worse against lefties. Lars Nootbaar in the 3-hole, Brendan Donovan leading off, multi-position eligibility. Get Burleson, Dylan Carlson for free at the bottom of the order. Wilson Contreras at a catcher position. I prefer the lefties, but obviously the 3 righty bats, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Paul Goldschmidt, totally fine with any of those guys as well. I think the Cardinals are a sneaky one. Javier has not looked as good to me as of late. 90 degrees, ball will be flying. I like these cards. As far as the Astros, definitely like the card side more. Kyle Tucker, Yanir Diaz, you talked about him. Maybe a Tucker Diaz mini stack, 3-5, something like that. I don't know. I don't love the Astros side as much, but it is 90 degrees still. Mikolas we didn't really talk about him when it came to pitchers. So talk about these Astros, interested to see what you got to say there. I like these Cardinals, though, especially the lefties. What about you?
Man, it feels good to be in lockstep with Mr. Title Crown himself because I love these Cardinals. They're on my second team as a 5-man stack. I like Texas, I like Baltimore, and I like the Cardinals all ahead of the Dodgers when you consider ownership. I'm going to talk on the reason why, and could the Dodgers do it? Yeah, I mean, it's the Dodgers, one of the best offenses in baseball, but I'll talk on Freeland's home numbers. I saw it in the chat, Scary Creations. Sharp dude, always in here. We appreciate you. But I'm going to talk on the reason for to be cautious with the Dodgers. Obviously, we saw it last night with Seabold. But yeah, these cards, I mean, last 30 days, Javier, K percentage against all batters, just 11.5% in terms of last 30. Obviously, he's a 7% K rate against lefties, and cards rolled out 5 lefties, 6 lefties, something like that in this lineup. 7% K rate, and if I told you his ground ball percentage, 26.9, which is terrible. Extreme fly ball guy, 90 degrees in St. Louis. The ball is going to be flying. We have seen this park this year with the new rules produce runs as well. I love these Cardinals 1 through 9. Don't leave off Arenado. Don't leave off Contreras. Don't leave off Goldschmidt. They can still hit him. Javier has not been the same guy as of late. I mean, he's allowing 40% fly balls to righties. I tell you what, you give me a 40% fly ball pitcher to guys like Arenado and Goldschmidt in 90-degree weather, sign me up. So I love these Cardinals 1 through 9. They're in play for me, and they're probably my third favorite stack of the night behind Texas and Baltimore.
Let's go, Nades. I wasn't sure you were going to be on them. I had no clue. We didn't talk about it at all prior. Love it. Balls will be flying in St. Louis, though. Love these Cardinals tonight. Will be very low owned. Our guy Hoffbro in chat, talk about. We'll get to that Dodgers game. That bottom half of the order, though, that lineup is not nearly as tasty as it usually is. But we'll touch on that in a couple games. Monster 13-game slate. Still plenty of games to work through. Next game on the slate: Philadelphia Phillies, Chicago Cubs. Aaron Nola, Drew Smyly on the mound. Nola is one of my favorite pitchers. Smyly, I think he can make. I think he's in play due to the price, the ownership, the leverage, right in the middle of like Dane Dunning, Domingo Germán, just kind of a dead range. I don't think people get to. So I like Smyly more than I target these bats for the Phillies. As far as the Cubs, definitely not for me. If they're on the winner, I will live. Not great hitting weather. Nothing for me in this one. What you got, Nades?
Yeah, not a ton of interest here. I'm not going to chase the Phillies. I mean, if you're looking for guys, it would just be Real Muto and Bohm. It is interesting to note the Phillies did roll out 7 righties here against Smyly. I just don't really care, to be honest. Pretty good pitching weather. Smiley's actually been pretty decent. Limits hard contact. I think he's got the best barrel rate, or the second best barrel rate on the entire slate out of the 26 pitchers going tonight. So I like Smyly. Out on the Phillies. On the Cubs side, I'm not attacking Nola on a 13-game slate in a win game in Wrigley. I was seeing gusts up to 18 to 20 miles an hour. It's hazy as well. So no interest for me personally.
Yep. So Nades and I lockstep in a lot of this slate. I do love to see that. Jake, what's going on, man? He's about to quit his job if they keep making them late. Yeah, you run your ship, Jake. You let them know. Good to see you in chat, though. Try and get 150 likes, 265 watching, under 100 likes right now. We appreciate if you make a push. 150 would make us very happy. Nades on here, giving more winners like he always does. Keeping it rolling, Nades. Next game, we're not there yet. Detroit Tigers, Texas Rangers, Joey Wentz, Dane Dunning on the mound. I don't think the Tigers are the craziest thing just because Dane Dunning's going to be way more. Dane Dunning's going to be 1, 2, 3 highest owned pitcher on the slate just because of the price and playing the Dodgers. So naturally, you'll get leverage going with the Tigers. He's only maybe, 30% though. I think there's enough pitchers on the slate where ownership will be spread out enough. I'm not sure you're getting enough leverage to make it worth it on this 13-game slate. Interesting to hear your thoughts, Tigers game theory-wise there. But you love the Texas Rangers, one of the highest totals on the slate. You've talked about it multiple times so far. Explain why you like these Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk on the Rangers after I talk on Detroit. It is a leverage spot here. It's not like he's 60%, right? It's still the Detroit offense. I would look at the lefties. McKinstry, Kerry Carpenter would be my preference. But, I mean, last 30 days, K rate 12% last 30 days for Mr. Dane Dunning. So he's not going to strike out bats. I mean, overall, this lineup for Detroit is right around league average, 23% over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching. So, not a ton of interest in Dane Dunning. That's if it beats me, it beats me. If freaking Mr. Dane Dunning goes out there at 6,100, which I get it, it's a cheap price tag. If he was like 7,500, 8K, it'd be an easy X. But he is 6,100. But I don't have a ton of interest personally in the Dodgers. So I don't know. The Tigers aren't the craziest thing, but yeah, Texas. I mean, sign me up for freaking Texas against Joey Wentz. 11% barrel rate, K rate right around 20%, expected ERA approaching 6, 5.7 implied run total. Everyone was tilting their faces off against the Rangers yesterday all over social media. And what they do, they came around. It's never over until the freaking until they walk off the field, right, Title? Because they posted 8 runs late. My guy, freaking Adolis Garcia, and my boy Zeke Duran definitely hit the bomb late in that game. Was very profitable overall. I like these guys 1 through 9 again. Especially that wraparound stack. I mean, Leody Taveras has been good. He's finally back in the lineup. Wasn't in there last night. Don't sleep on Mitch Garver against a lefty in the 8-hole 4K. He should be low owned at the catcher position, batting 8th. Zeke Duran in the 7-hole. Love him. Josh Young smashes lefties. Love him. Adolis Garcia is on fire. Love him. And Corey Seager might be my favorite bat on the slate. Lefty. I don't care. Because who else is people going to play at shortstop right there? They're going to go to Mookie Betts. So give me Corey Seager over Mookie Betts here. I love these Rangers 1 through 9. Tigers, not a ton of interest. I would just look at the 2 lefties, Kerry Carpenter, Zach McKinstry.
Yeah, great breakdown. The more I thought about it with the Tigers when I was talking it out to myself, I just don't think it's the right slate where you need all the leverage against Dunning. If he was 60%, completely different story. I just don't think he'll get up to there. The Rangers, though, yeah, I'll keep riding, man. They've been hot. The offense looks good. 1 through 9, some cheap bats you can mix in, cheaper bats, some expensive ones as well. Yeah, like the Rangers are going to be low owned because with some of their expensive bats, if you want Adolis, you want Seager, Semien, you can't play these Dodgers, and people much rather play the Dodgers over the Rangers. So I'll roll with the Rangers with you. Joey Wentz, not someone I am scared about. Keep it rolling, though. What have we got? 5 games left on the slate. Yeah, 5 games left on the slate. Cleveland Guardians, Kansas City Royals, Logan Allen, and then a bullpen game. Mainly Austin Cox will start for the Royals. Then it'll be mainly the bullpen. I don't know. Guardians got a total of 5. The Royals about 4.4. 100 degrees in Kansas City, the big thing, like 95, something like that. I don't know. I don't love picking up bullpen games. I don't love playing these Guardians. However, I don't think ownership, they're going to get some, but it's not like yesterday, or they're not going to be real chalk. They have cheap pieces in this order, guaranteed 9th inning at bats. Very, very, very warm. I like the Guardians more than I usually do today. Jose Ramirez is definitely my favorite bet. Probably more of a 3-man than a 5-man, though. Definitely like the Rangers more. Definitely like Baltimore more. So probably a 3-man now that I'm saying it. As far as the Royals, I respect Logan Allen, but, man, these Royals are going to be very, very low owned. The ball is going to be flying, man. So what are you doing in this one in Kansas City?
Yeah, the one thing I will say first before we move into the next game, Dane Dunning, We saw it yesterday, right? Brian Rui was projected right around 25 to 30%. He came in almost 60% in tournaments. So I will say, the more people see this, I get it, right? The Dodgers lineup that they rolled out is, I think I threw up reading it. So it's pretty ugly. They do have some cheap bats, obviously, in there now with the lineup. I mean, you got Miguel Rojas hitting in the freaking 6-hole tonight. So that just tells you what kind of lineup there is. No Muncy in there, obviously, stuff like that. But I will keep an eye on Dane Dunning because Brian Wu I didn't think was going to be 60% owned yesterday. And he did come in about double what he was projected to. So that's one thing I will say on that. In this game, Guardians, I'm just typically not a Guardians guy. Again, they just lack home runs. Josh Bell, Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor would be my 3 favorite, I think. If I had to choose guys, you can obviously only play one of Naylor and Josh Bell, both first base guys. But 2,800, 3,900 with some power should be pretty low owned at the first base position when you're talking Freddie Freeman, some of those other guys at the top. But Guardians, more mini stack. I'm kind of in lockstep with you. I just don't love them. I would actually probably prefer the Royals side here against Logan Allen. Logan Allen hasn't been great as of late. His strikeout stuff has dropped a little bit. And there's another reason, right? I just don't like targeted bullpen games, especially when it's a team like Cleveland that doesn't hit a lot of home runs on a 13-game slate. So Royals have the same exact weather, 93 degrees, 95 degrees, slight wind blowing out a little bit. The ball flies in Kauffman Stadium anyways. So Bobby Witt against a lefty. I mean, sign me up. Bat leadoff tonight. Love him. Matt Duffy. Miguel Garcia has been great against lefties. He's 3,100 at third base. So I like him quite a bit too. More mini stacks in this game on both sides, I think, are definitely in play, but I definitely like some of those other spots better.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think either side's crazy. I leave them in my pool, especially for MMEing, but I like the mini stacks more than the full stacks. 4 games left, 150 likes. We would absolutely love 42 more likes, almost 300 watching. We appreciate it if you hit that like, hit that big black subscribe button. Helps us out a ton over here at SHIPIT Nation. Again, if you do want to be a member, all of our premium tools, projections, rankings, stack rankings, hitter rankings, pitcher rankings, Nade's core plays, Hoops core plays, Cash core plays, all of that good stuff. You do need to be a member at SHIPITNation.com. Head over, get in the Discord. Do not think you will regret it one bit. Very excited over here. Best ball content coming up. MMA, a lot of weeks. I think it's like 10 more weeks in a row we got MMA, PGA in the full force. So a lot of stuff, a lot of money to be made on DraftKings. We help you out with that over here at SHIPITNation.com. 4 games left. Nades, the game everybody wants to hear about. Coors Field, Michael Grove, Kyle Freeland on the mound. 12.5 total. Great hitting weather in Coors, 85 degrees. Dodgers pretty much the same total as yesterday, a little lower. People have been talking about it in chat. I think Seabold's worse than Kyle Freeland. Yesterday, I thought they were in a better spot than they are today. Not worried about Kyle Freeland, but man, the dude, he has a lot of magic up his sleeve, it feels like. The dude just pitches gems in very tough spots. Feels like picking against him when the other team has been chalk has not worked out more times than not. I do not have data by any means to back that up. Hoffman, I was about to call him Eric Hoffman here, but Bro talked about it. Some pinch hit risk in this Dodgers lineup. You mentioned the bottom half of the order. It's gross. DeLuca, Hernandez, Vargas, he said all have pinch hit risk. Yeah, outside of 1 through 5, man, it gets this bottom of the order is not what we expected for the Dodgers. However, they're cheap. And what does that mean? It's easier to play some of these Dodgers. So I think the ownership probably even goes up from what it was just because of how cheap you can get this stack. You can play some cheap bats, some expensive bats. I don't know, man. Yesterday, Gator Nation, I think, said it best. 15 games. This one spot beats me. It beats me. There's other teams to play. I didn't really listen, though. Today, cash games, you got to play them, though. GPPs, what are you doing? That's the ultimate question.
Yeah, if I told you Kyle Freeland this year at home has given up more than 3 runs in just one game, and that was against the Pirates when he faced teams like St. Louis, he faced Philly, he faced the Padres, he faced Ohtani and Trout. He has not given up more than 3 runs in any of his starts this year in Coors Field. Obviously, I'm not saying go play Kyle Freeland, right? But, I mean, the dude's only gotten really blown up against the Pirates early in the season when, obviously, weather everywhere else was pretty weak. What this does is it just increases the Dodgers' ownership. I'm kind of on lockstep. It also increases the ownership of those arms at the top. Blake Snell, Nola, those guys, right? Because now you can 5-man stack Coors Field, include those guys at the top. Mookie Betts ownership just went up too, batting leadoff. When you got guys like DeLuca, 2,700. Yanni Hernandez, I wouldn't play that dude with a 10-foot pole. I mean, he's got 36 Ks in his major league career, 0 home runs, and about 160 some at bats. So I'm not playing a dude that goes out there and is just trying to guess to put the ball in play. He'll probably double dong tonight. Just
I was gonna say he's going deep for sure.
Yeah, he's got no home runs in his MLB career. Made his debut in 2021. Just a journeyman. I don't know why he's in the lineup, but I don't know. Wouldn't play him. James Outman definitely probably is pretty safe from pinch hit, but you just never know what these guys are going to do in LA. But I would say he's probably pretty safe being in the lineup, lefty. Don't like him. Miguel Rojas in the 6 hole. Yeah, I've never played Miguel Rojas. Vargas actually has really good numbers against lefty, but again, he is pinch hit risk as soon as the righty comes in. And the bulk of that Rockies bullpen is right-handed, if I'm not mistaken. So he's probably going to get yanked. JD Martinez double dong last night. I think he's fine. If I'm going to play the Dodgers, I'm going to play a 2 or a 3-man stack. I'm not 5-man stacking this team. If they beat me again, it beats me. And Kyle Freeland historically has blown up the chalk in Coors Field. Everyone wants to stack against Kyle Freeland, but he's way better at home in Coors Field, which is crazy to say. I would actually in this game prefer going right to the Rockies side. We finally get Michael Grove, who we wanted to load up and stack against last slate. And obviously he did not come in the game at all. Very hurtful when I stacked against him and didn't see any of them. They played the matchup card the entire game. So obviously that lineup was dead from the start. But I do think these Rockies, I mean, Ryan McMahon, Diaz, CJ Cron's back in the lineup tonight, Nolan Jones, Brendan Doyle. I would much prefer this Rockies side. I mean, they're still implied to score 5.5 runs right around that against Michael Grove, who is terrible, and then the Dodgers bullpen, who's actually been pretty bad as of late. So I much prefer the Rockies side. Dodgers, for me, just mini stacks. I'm not going to eat the chalk against Kyle Freeland here.
Yeah, it makes sense. I definitely liked him more yesterday than I do today. We liked enough other spots on the slate. We still have 3 games after this. I definitely like one of the teams. I mean, I'll let you decide if you guys want to play the Dodgers now. Obviously, head and shoulders above the rest in a vacuum. You guys know what ownership will be. If you play the Dodgers, just try and get a low-owned pitcher, a sub 15% owned pitcher, a secondary stack. No one's going to go to. If you play the Dodgers, just think an extra couple seconds. Is this going to be different? How do I play them? Obviously, in a vacuum, they are in the best spot of the night. It's not even close. As far as the Rocky side, yeah, I love going to the other side of the chalk in Coors. It's more of a bullpen like Grove. I think he'll pitch maybe a couple innings, but I'm looking at more of a bullpen game, which I don't love to target. G. Risen stole my bomb call, though. Nolan Jones, absolutely my man. Dude's on fire. I think he goes deep against Grove as well. But you get 1 at bat, maybe 2 at bats against Grove at best, I think, and then you see a different arm every time up. If the Rockies beat me, they beat me. I limit them to mini stacks. I don't love the full 5-man stack. 3 games left on this slate. Again, we appreciate it. Let's try and get 150 likes. That's the goal today. We would very much appreciate it. Chicago White Sox, Los Angeles Angels, Lucas Giolito, Jaime Barria on the mound. You just moving on, Ohtani? Your lineups come preloaded with him or what? Obviously, kind of joking. 6.5K, very expensive. He's going to be low owned though, man. Like you aren't playing him over. People aren't going to play him over Mookie. People are going to play him over Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, pay up at pitcher, etc. Like an Ohtani one-off, an Angel stack is going to be low owned. Dude's absolutely on fire. What are you doing in this game?
Yeah, I actually like the Angels quite a bit. They have a pretty limited sample size of Giolito, but in that sample size, they have 9 home runs as a team against the White Sox and Giolito. Taylor Ward has 2 of them. Ohtani has 3 of them. And Ohtani, I mean, is hitting beach balls right now at the plate. The dude is making a statement. I think he might become the highest paid player ever in the history of MLB. At least he should be. For his talent after what he's putting on this year and obviously what he's put on his entire career. Everyone knows it. The dude's a phenom. So I actually like these Angels a little bit more than the field. I get it. Giolito's been good. I wouldn't 5-man stack these guys probably. But Ohtani, elite one-off on this slate, 6,500. I think he's the most expensive bat on the slate, but he's probably going to be 5%. And you give me a guy that has 50, 60-point upside in terms of home runs on this slate. He'll steal bases as well. I'll sign up for that at 5% ownership when I'm already not interested in the Dodgers a ton. Taylor Ward batting leadoff tonight. I like him. Mike Trout. Moustakas is in there after the Angels dropped a freaking couple touchdowns on Colorado. Mike Moustakas said, Colorado, see you later. I'm going to jump ship here after the game. He's batting in the 4-hole tonight. Drury. I think you can play these guys overall. Not a ton of interest in the bottom of the lineup of guys like Escobar, Fletcher. Renfro's been pretty bad overall, but he has hit righties pretty solid in Angel Stadium on the season. So more mini stack for me for the Angels. White Sox, I did have some interest in Beria, just more price play. And I'm not going to play these White Sox. They've just been horrendous as of late, especially the last 2 games in LA here. So hopefully they stay the same. Beria post a decent score. White Sox bats are a pass.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play Luis Robert, whatever way it is, you can definitely play him. Went 0 for yesterday, but before that, double dong, home run the game before, has been mashing. So I don't mind him and the other side, Ohtani. Besides those one-offs on both sides, yeah, I don't mind, I guess, a mini stack with the Angels or something. Ohtani's just if you can get Ohtani in your lineup, yeah, he's going to be it's harder to click, like I said, because in a vacuum, clicking him over the Dodgers bats feels tough. But, man, the dude is an elite one-off, even if you don't play these Angels. I definitely love me some Shohei Ohtani. Keep rolling the hot bet, man. That's how I see it. 2 games left on the slate. I like this game, though. Tampa Bay Rays, Arizona Diamondbacks, Zach Eflin, Zach Davies. I should say I like one side of this game. I'm not picking on Eflin, the highest price pitcher on the slates. I'm definitely not playing Eflin, but don't want to get to these D-backs. Zach Davies, though, man, someone we love targeting against. I feel like it's like kind of like Kyle Freeland. I feel like 5-man stacking against Davies has worked against me more than it's worked for me. Probably can say that pretty much about anyone in baseball, though. Baseball's a tough sport. You succeed 3 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer. So, again, probably for everyone. But, man, these Rays, one of the best offenses. I can play them 1 through 9. Guaranteed 9th inning at bat. Ownership, they'll get some, of course, but I don't think many people are going to wait. This West Coast game, second last game of the night, people are going to 5-man other spots. I like these Rays. I like picking on Davies. I'm going to keep doing it. I like 1 through 9 for the Rays. We don't have their lineup out yet. Hopefully we don't have their lineup out until after lock, which would keep it even a little lower or closer to them. But, yeah, I like picking on Davies. I like this Rays lineup. I don't think ownership's crazy. Guaranteed 9th inning at bat. A lot of boxes checked for me. What you got in this one?
Yeah, and I'm likely seeing that they're going to roll out 7 lefties here. Obviously, a bunch of those are switch hitters. But if you take a look at last 30 days numbers here, I like to bring this up. His ground ball rate for Zach Davies against righties is nearly 60%. So I definitely don't love targeting righties. Yeah, could guys like Randy Arozarena get one? Jose Siri, they have had pretty good numbers. Yeah, they could. But, I mean, he's got just the 32% ground ball rate to lefties and a fly ball rate right around 30%. So give me these lefties, and they're probably going to roll out 6 or 7 of these guys here. Don't sleep on Vidal Brujan down there in the 9-hole. The dude will literally steal every base he gets a chance to. Absolute speedster out there. If he gets a walk, I mean, you're considering about 12 points right away. I rostered him, I think it was last week or something like that. The dude scored like 23 points at min price. He's 2,300 here. Likely will be in the lineup. I'm not 100% sure, but if I was the manager here, I would roll out as many lefties as I can against Zach Davies. I think all the lefties are firmly in play. Jose Siri actually has really good numbers, but he does have a pretty high strikeout rate against righties, but he can always hit a bomb. Josh Lowe, I think, is an elite play tonight here. A ton of power. Luke Raley right there. I love those 2 guys a ton. Yandy Diaz has been good. Wander Franco is kind of a cheat code a little bit too. He'll steal bases, has the power. So, yeah, I'm on board with the Rays. I do like the Rays quite a bit. D-backs for me, not picking on Eflin. It's just more the price play for me with Eflin. Why I didn't have a ton of interest.
I like it. We got 1 game left on the slate. It's going to be a quick one for me. Again, we appreciate that like button. Get you a low-owned play. Get you a dong of the day, and we will get on out of here. Nades, last game on the slate, New York Yankees, Oakland Athletics, Domingo Germán, J.P. Sears on the mound. 65 degrees in Oakland. J.P. Sears we like, so I assume you don't like any Yankees. I don't. Domingo Germán will be one of the more popular pitchers on the slates. Kind of like talking about the Dane Dunning thing, though. Like, I don't think he'll be popular enough to make a case for the Athletics on this 13-game slate. That, I mean, not only Germán needs to get beat up, they need to outscore almost every team on the slate. this game beats me. In Oakland, it beats me. Definitely a fade, though. What you got?
Yeah, fade for me, if I was looking at anyone, might be guys like JJ Bulladay or Tony Kemp, just super salary savers at a weak position for Kemp at second base. Cheap guy in the outfield in Bulladay that does have some home run power, Seth Brown, something like that. But yeah, not a ton of interest. Yankees for me are a pass. I do like JP Sears quite a bit.
I love it. That is all 13 games on this slate. Awesome work, Nate. 15 games yesterday, 13 games today. A lot of stuff, a lot of information. Great stuff. Great work by you. We're going to go low-owned pitcher. Then we're going to go dong of the day. Nade's low-owned pitcher tonight. Low-ish owned pitcher, 20% below. We'll say. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to Mr. $7,400 Drew Smiley against those Philly bats. Get it? They rolled out a bunch of righties, but I still think he has some K upside here. The fourth best K matchup on the slate, 7,400. I'll take my chances in Wrigley in a win game. So give me Smiley.
I like it. I was debating him. I'm not going to lie. I was going to try and roll the same game what worked yesterday. I'm going to go Kyle Gibson. I definitely don't love it. I'll say that right away. But I think the pivot right off of Herman, who's 8K, will be triple the ownership, $100 savings. I love Baltimore's offense. I think he can get the win. Some of these red bats are definitely scary, but give me 16 at 7.9K on this pitching slate, and the bats will figure it out is how I see it. So I think he's safe enough. There's no such thing as safe in baseball. But Kyle Gibson, I think, gets the job done. Good K prop. I think he gets the win in this one. 16 points, please, from Kyle Gibson at sub 20% ownership. Nade's dong of the day. Before we get on out of here, I'm going to go to those Baltimore Orioles. I'm going to go in the middle of the order. Anthony Santander got the job done yesterday. Been swinging a hot stick. Man, I think these O's jump on Luke Weaver. Give me Anthony Santander to go yard. What you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go up all the way at the top. I gave a value guy yesterday. I'll give you two. Same team. My first one, Corey Seager, 6K on DraftKings. Going to compete with ownership against Mookie Betts at the shortstop position. Obviously, you can play Mookie in the outfield, but I think Corey Seager gets one against Wentz today, lefty-lefty. And as soon as the righty comes in, he's got the platoon advantage there. Give me freaking Corey Seager. And then I'm going down in the 8-hole in the same game. Mitch Garver at the catcher position, 4K. Little wraparound, reach around stack, as Hoop likes to say. Load up on these Texas bats. They're going to bring us home the money again.
I love it. Mr. Grapefruit in chat, we like Sears today as SP2. Oh, yeah, we talked about that a lot earlier. He was just too high owned to be talking, put him in the low owned pitcher segment. We definitely like JP Sears. Mike Carr, yeah, fell a little bit short for the likes, but we do appreciate everybody that did hit. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Fun 13-game slates. Pitching's a little tough. Dodgers, again, the story of the slate. Pretty much a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday. Slate. Everything is up on the site at SHIPITNation.com. See who Nades, Hamwich, G Ryzen, Hoop are all on today. Check out all of the proprietary tools. Check out the projections. Playing cash games. I got my stuff up as well. We'd love to see you in the Discord. We got golf going on tomorrow. We got MMA this week. Hope everybody out there has a great Wednesday night. Looking to see some Ship It Nation logos up top. Great work as always, Nades. Good talking ball with you. Hope you have a great night. For Titletown, for Nadesify, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.